Hi, I'm Ruth, and I'm here to talk to you about intentions of least resistance. That is, I'm here to talk to you about how to formulate intentions or goals in ways that will cause the least resistance to your actually achieving that particular goal. And we've learned that we create our experience and we do it intentionally with the way we think about things. And we're not going to cover that particularly here, but we are going to cover how to formulate goals so that it's easier to think the thoughts you need to think and to feel the feelings you need to feel to create what it is you're hoping to create. So, goals or intentions, either one, they'll be associated with the very, very least resistance. So, certain kinds of intentions almost seem to create themselves. They take you right to your desire, but it's also really easy. Even if you're pretty good with language, it's really easy to get caught up in language that does not support your goal and makes you think thoughts that are not helpful. So you can avoid that by following a few rules and not allowing yourself to wander too far away from what you really, really want and describing what you really, really want. So there are a few things you can do to help yourself. The first one is so simple and so difficult. It is to simply allow yourself to know what you really want. And it's shocking how many of us don't know what we really want. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. We are told constantly by media and friends and everybody what we want, what we should want, what might be nice, and we see things on media constantly that that looks nice, that's wonderful, and so we are looking at desirable things that maybe we don't really desire all that much. I have clients that when I back them into the question, they don't know what they want. They say something like, well, I know I don't want. I know I don't want so and so. I know what I don't want. Well, it's not the same. And when you talk about what you don't want, your thoughts go to what you don't want. And what we want to do is have our thoughts go to what we do want. So I'm going to suggest a couple of things. I have a meditation on thinking about what you want. You can follow that and just let yourself loosen up a little bit and let some of the things that you really love rise to the surface. The other thing you could do is just make a list of things you love and maybe work on that for 2 or 3 days. Nothing tedious, just, oh, yeah, I love dogs, I love rivers, I love mystery novels, I love movies. And that's all I can think of right now. And just that exercise will help you loosen up and access the information of what you love. It's somewhere in your heart. You sure knew what it was when you were a little kid. And it can rise up and make itself known to you if you give it a little time. So I would recommend you do one of those things and determine what your heart's desire is. And that's the other thing. The next step is to look at, do I want my heart's desire or do I want what I can have? And the truth is, you want your heart's desire, but a lot of times we settle for less. So, yeah, I really want to go to India. That's my heart's desire. I've always wanted to go there. But I don't dare think about it because it'll really make me feel bad because I know I can't. Well, that's questionable. Maybe I can and maybe I can't. But I don't want to think about it, so I settle for thinking about going to Colorado. Well, there's nothing wrong with going to Colorado, but if you want to go there. Is that your heart's desire, or would your heart's desire still be to go to India? So it's important to get really honest with yourself and see if you're going in the right direction. If your heart's desire is to go to India, then you don't settle for something else. You don't decide that you can't do it before you've even tried to do it. And you certainly, I would say, do not block the desire to go to India. I want to go there. I don't think I can go, so I'm not going to think about it. Anytime you stifle a feeling like that, oh boy, it'll come up like a jack-in-the-box when you least expect it. And it'll make it harder to go to Colorado, for one thing, but it won't help you get to India if that's where you're really going. So admit your heart's desire. And you can still deal with, if there's no way I can get to India this year, well, I can deal with that. That's not the end of the world. And it doesn't mean I can't go in a year and a half, and it doesn't mean I can't go ever. And even if it does, at least I have felt in my heart that desire to go to India, and I've coped with that desire in my heart instead of pretending it doesn't exist. Stay out of the habit of pretending your feelings aren't real. Stay out of the habit of denying your feelings. They're important. They're telling you something important. Let them tell you. So, you see if you're moving in the right direction. Your intention is something you'd love to experience, or is it something it might be okay? You want the one you love. And the other thing is you want to have an intention that is something you love as opposed to avoid. So I would love to go on a walk in the woods. I love going at night and seeing the owls in the wintertime. I love that. Instead of avoiding walking because my foot hurts. So, I have to formulate a goal that makes sense. I broke my foot a couple years ago, and now I can't walk the way I used to walk. And I'm working on it, and I'm building up my stamina and so forth. So my goal should not be, I want to walk even though my foot was broken. My goal should not be, I want to get through a lot of physical therapy so I can walk farther. That is one of my goals, but that's not my dream goal. What I really want is to have my foot working really well, where I don't even think about my foot. I don't think about my foot at all. How many of us think about going for a walk and think, oh, geez, how's my foot? No, we just think I'm going to go for a walk. You think about your foot insofar as you put a shoe on it, but a lot of times we don't think about it if it's working well. So that's what I want. I want that foot to work well so I don't think about it at all. So my goal is I can go on the owl walk. I can go on this hike or that hike. I can take one of these walks with my friends. I'm capable of doing those things and enjoying the outdoors and getting exercise and all those things. So I decide from all that stuff, what is it that's my goal? And then I work toward that goal. Now I may work with my foot at some point in that goal. I may exercise at some point in preparation for that goal. But when I think about that goal, I'm thinking about doing something I really love. When I'm thinking about that goal, I'm thinking about my body working really well and me being very, very happy to be out in the woods and feeling great. So make sure that your intention is something you want to experience, not something you want to avoid. And there's another kind of tendency to do this kind of thing with a goal, where we make a goal that we want to avoid instead of a goal that we want to experience. And this is sort of a problem-solving goal. You create a goal to solve a problem, and that would be something like, I'm lonely. I miss my brothers. I need to solve the problem of being lonely for my family. So I need a family. I need people in my life so that I'm not lonely. Well, that's a problem-solving goal. And that's a goal that makes me think about being lonely, which is not what I'm going for. Not what I'm going for. So you need to shift that goal into, what do I really want? And what do I really want? Well, I want to have a family so we can have dinner together. I want to have a family so we can celebrate Thanksgiving together. I want to have a family so you can go pick apples together. Whatever it is, but it's some reason I want a family, a positive reason, something I want. And I can guarantee I won't be lonely if I'm doing those things. But the nature of my goal is not loneliness. Then I'm defining my life according to loneliness. I want to define my life according to the fun things that I'm doing with my family, or my surrogate family, or whatever it is, my group of friends. So yeah, I'm creating that goal to solve a problem, but let's get it out of the problem arena and put it in the this is what I want arena. So I'm solving that problem, but I'm not thinking of it as my problem. I'm creating something I want instead of the problem. So instead of saying, I've got this problem over here and what am I going to do about it? I'm thinking, okay, I've got this problem over here and I've got this family over here, and when I get involved with the activities of this family, I don't think about this problem over here. And this problem over here only happens when I've got nobody to play with. So, and sometimes it doesn't happen when I have nobody to play with. Sometimes I'm alone and I'm not lonely at all. So be careful that you don't define a goal according to a problem. It's not to solve the problem of loneliness or sadness or a sore foot or a rainy day or any of that stuff. You need to create the intentions to have a life that's so rich that it doesn't have those problems. That's so full that you are happy most of the time, or satisfied, or interested, or curious. So think about that when you create your goals. Don't ever just jot them down without giving a little thought to, am I thinking about what I really want here? And then the other thing I would say is go after your wildest dreams. You know how I talked about going to India? If that's where you really want to go to India. If you really want the man of your dreams to sweep you off your feet, then you don't want some guy down the street to take you out to dinner necessarily. That's not the same thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That guy might be your best friend and take you out to dinner. But what you really want is the wildest dream. So you may have to visualize both of those things instead of just one of them, but don't substitute one for the other. And the other thing is the wild dreams. A lot of times we deny ourselves wild dreams because we don't think we deserve them. Well, I want this crazy, wonderful guy to be my partner, but he might not like me. He might not think I'm good looking enough. I might not be interesting enough for him. I'm too old. Whatever it is that we think is wrong with us. you really need to get past that. And I'm not suggesting a science project. I'm saying set your goal for what you really, really want. And be honest about what it is you love and want. Diluted dreams, and I'm saying diluted, not diluted. Diluted dreams are not good motivators. You don't want to dilute your dreams. You want to keep them full strength. Full strength. So anything you love, it's like rocket fuel for creation. It actually puts a lot of juice into the works when you're trying to focus on creation, a goal, an intention. Create for yourself only. You cannot create that wonderful guy for somebody else. Now, you can pray for somebody else and you may get very good results caring what happens to somebody else, but you can't get past their boundaries and create for them because you can't really tell what they love the way they do. That's a dicey question that I'm not going to go into here. We can help other people, but we're talking here your own dreams, your own values, your own goals, your own intentions. So go after things for yourself. The other thing that's important is to create the end result. You want to create the house, not the money for a house. You want to create the wardrobe. You don't want to create the money for the wardrobe. You don't want to create the means to buy the clothes you want. You don't want to buy a diet program. You want to create the body that you want. Go for the end result as much as you can so that you get where you're going. If you're going to Toledo and you only create a goal that you're going to get to Perrysburg, you're not going to be in Toledo. You're going to be in Perrysburg. I like Perrysburg, but still, make sure your goal is your goal and not something else. So focus on what, not how. What you want, not how. Have no idea how I'm going to get to India. God, I wish I knew. I'd love to get there. You'll figure that out. Right now, focus on what. And it might not turn out as you hoped. It might turn out better. It might turn out better than you hoped. And a lot of the people I've known who admitted their fondest dreams to themselves, they got them. Don't tell other people about them, but admit them to yourselves. And check out my meditation on knowing what you want if that's an issue for you. Remember, it could turn out better than you thought. It probably will.